All right, Mike Nolan here, nexdockusers.wordpress.org, and this is the 20th of September now, and the nexdock arrived back from the repair facility earlier this week, and I guess it's time to take a look. I did do some preliminary testing with the TecBest tablet on the left there, and so far so good. I think the good news is by all indications, the power button and power supply availability unpowered seems to be corrected. So I'm going to hook it up to the TecBest tablet and let you guys take a look, see how it works. Alright, so I've fired up the TecLast. It's TecLast, not TecBast. Best. The supplier of the TecLast tablets is GearBest. So if you go to gearbest.com, you can see all the TecLast, L-A-S-T, TecLast tablets. So as you can probably see, there is an HDMI cable connected to the TecLast tablet. The TecLast, this is an Android Windows 10 hybrid tablet. I gotta say it's pretty amazing quality-wise, speed-wise, and works pretty darn well overall for the cost. 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, and it's kind of my new daily driver for most things. Battery life is fantastic and really high quality screen, as you can probably see here. There's lots of reviews online. Adrian from guys from Queens did a full review on it. If on it's like a special podcast he did. But anyway, so I also have it connected to the nexdock, and there is no power adapter, but now I'll go ahead and power it up. See the power lights on, and boom, there it is. And I have it set up as a extended display right now, so if I was to take this flipboard window and move it over, it should go over. Oh, I thought I did. I guess I have to set that up again. But yeah, the power comes on right away. The battery life seems to be really good. I've connected it with several different other devices. I'll show some of those just to see how it kind of held up, and so far so good. I mean, I gotta say, you know, overall it's definitely seems to be working as advertised. I mean, I'm assuming that this is the same screen. I marked the bottom of the chassis with my name and contact information just in case there was any kind of a mix-up with the delivery of it. Oh, I know what the problem is. It's over on this side. So I had it set up differently the other day. Bluetooth is working just fine. So I think, at least for the time being, I'd say that Nex has sorted out the issues with the new replacement PCB, and I'll be giving some additional demonstrations as time goes on. Stand by. So once again, the way I configured this previously, I was in a slightly different configuration and did not have the display set up the way I normally would. As you can see, 2-finger mousing works just fine. I had the display on the left, I'm going to move it over to the right the way it's actually configured now. So now if I take Flipboard and try to move it over, it should be, oh, wait a second. First things first, I made the change, but I didn't apply it, I'm sure. Such as, it seems like the mouse response and Bluetooth performance are improved as well. So again, when I did these tests previously, I was not using the TecLast tablet, obviously, and the TecLast tablet does have, you know, newer hardware, although I believe it's Realtek is the supplier of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I think if we look here under System and Devices, Bluetooth, I don't know if it says Realtek here. I guess if I went to the System, took a look, should be able to see. But anyway, oops, let's see what's going on here. Microsoft, something or other. Oh, I guess I hit the wrong thing. But anyway, I can't say enough about I think this is a great example of how it could work and look. I think it's great that the TecLast tablet, this is the 98.2 Plus, I believe. It looks like an iPad. Like I say, it has Android. I think it upgraded to the 5X version of Android not long after firing it up. And between the battery life and the performance, it does full screen video, but I think it's just kind of great that it looks complementary to the nexdock. So when they're together and docked up, I have to say this HDMI cable and this adapter, and then I have another HDMI adapter here. I'm not really feeling that right now, but this is a thing. I've been looking for an HDMI micro to HDMI mini cable, and as it turns out, those are not that easy to come by. I have one that I tried in some of the earlier videos, and it doesn't really work. It's not that one, much to my surprise. So there's the adapter cable that the nexdock came with, and it's okay. It's a little bit thick, but I'm really just trying to find an HDMI micro to mini cable that will just allow me to, and something that's not super thick. As you can see, this one's really thick and heavy. It's braided. It's nice, but it's really designed more for a home entertainment install, not really for you know, kind of portable use, and something flexible that's you know, nice and lightweight and slim and what have you. But the one I have, which I can't seem to find right now for some reason, of course, or maybe it's just this one. I think it's just this one. So this one is HDMI standard, or I believe what's called A. So I also, in my searching, discovered that HDMI mini and HDMI micro are type C and type D. I believe the HDMI mini is type C and the HDMI micro is type D, and then the standard HDMI full size is type A. And so something like this, even if this kind of weight of cable and the nexdock adapter worked, I'll try it one more time. You know, I can't honestly say if I can't remember now. If I'll try it and see if it worked with the nexdock cable adapter. But it's just a lot of adapters and cables. I'm really not a big fan of all that because it's just generally problematic. It's a lot of stress on the end of the device. It's not so much when the nexdock is sitting there, it's just sitting there, but it's a lot of weight sticking out there. If anything's going to cause a crack or a problem, big heavy adapters and cables are a shortcut to that. So I've looked at mono price. The one cable I did find was on Amazon. I've ordered it. I'm hoping it'll be here relatively soon. So far it's a no-show. So I don't know, but the good news is, and I guess the one thing that's still kind of a mystery about the nexdock, I think it would be really handy if there was a battery indicator. I guess, you know, that's the power on indicator there that's showing us, you know, that the power is on. But as far as I know, I have not used it long enough or seen it long enough to see if it changes color or if there's any kind of indication that the battery would be about ready to go down. So, you know, just to be safe, I'd say you're probably best making sure you have the power adapter with you. And my thinking is one of my next communications with Next is going to be, do you sell extra power supplies? Because it occurred to me that I might want to have one in a couple different travel bags. I might want to have one at work. It's me misclicking. And just as a spare, because I'm sure there's probably a third-party power adapter, power supply, what have you, that might work with the right kind of tip, and et cetera, but I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to have the wrong voltage, wrong amperage. I really just want to make sure that I've got a spare, because that seems like if it was reasonably priced, 15-20 bucks for an extra power supply or two, I would gladly buy them. So right now I'm moving Firefox with YouTube over to the nexdock, and hopefully, it seems like it's running kind of slow. I'm not sure why. I guess something, if you haven't seen this site yet, but fast.com by Netflix seems to be a pretty good speed indicator. But right now, the way it's running, the fast site usually comes up really quick. That's interesting. I recently discovered at work, there you go, see, I just moved it a bit, and because I moved it, the torque on the cable and the adapter, well, that's a great example, just cut the image out. So I just moved it a little bit, and granted, the way I have this hooked up is just not the way I want to do it, but so sometimes what I found is I'll take this apart. I just really hope it's not super torquing out the connector here. Oh man. So yeah. Okay, now it's in the neck. Wow, 140K, blinding speed. I have 28 megabit down here generally. So that's curious. I guess the Bluetooth has to reconnect. Why is this thing moving so slow? 3, well that's better. 11, 12, okay, now we're talking. Can't think of why. Oh, the Bluetooth, now the Bluetooth is saying it's not connecting. Oh look, I want to touch it. I don't think it's a touch screen. And the nexdock, it says it's paired, but what I found is that when it kind of shorts out like that, it's best to just turn the Bluetooth off, turn it back on again, see if it doesn't reconnect. Okay, it looks like it reconnected. Okay, yeah, I got the mouse back. Great. That was a tap and not on the mouse button of the keyboard. So the tap does work, the two-touch scrolling works. I don't know how many, I can't remember seeing what the number of multi-gesture capabilities are of this. If it does have pinch and zoom, I'm pretty sure it probably does. The input of the touchpad takes a little getting used to, and depending on what you're operating and which application, etc., you know, your results might vary slightly, but you know, overall it's now, I'd say, working more along the way I would have expected as opposed to the way it was before, especially with the power button working now. You get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. It actually looks pretty good. It is it does have sweet spots. If you adjust the screen, tilt it, or go off axis, it'll look better or not so good depending on what angle you're at. So it's worth getting a sense of what angle looks best for you. You can kind of get an idea. Here's the TecLast screen, which is actually about the same specs as a Surface or a Retina display. It's like 2040 something, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Display, devices, display, okay, system. So it says that the TecLast is 1048 by 1536. It's a pretty high-res display, and then the TecLast Optimal is 1366 by 768, and looks okay. The sound's kind of tinny. I'm sure it sounds a lot better on earphones, but you could plug earphones into the source device and probably have just as good, if not better, sound than coming out of these speakers. So it's okay, but it's not theater quality, obviously. But the picture's good. I'd say overall you get it at the right angle and it pops pretty nice. The saturation's pretty good. Like I say, the Bluetooth now is working better. So, or it seems like it. Again, it could be, my sense is it could be that it's partly due to maybe newer drivers with the TecLast tablet. Could be a couple different things. That's my guess. It's probably newer hardware and just a better compatibility. Now, so if the printed circuit board that Next replaced has any enhancements to it, then that's a possibility as well. And it could be that those changes help with the overall performance of the Bluetooth. So, but if not, if it was just literally the power supply or something, then hard to say. So, and apparently my Wi-Fi is not so great in this room. Not sure what that's all about, but c'est la vie, I guess. So anyway, it's great to have the nexdock back. I am trying to think if I want to go back through all the different permutations. I don't expect that. Wow, 320. Well, that explains a lot. uh, so, and that's off of the Google On Hub, the T-Link, the TP-Link version of it, which generally has some blasting Wi-Fi. So I don't know why I'm getting such a poor signal here. Now, it could be, what I've found out recently is that, as many people have said, if your device is next to something like a television or a screen that's putting out, a fair amount of RF, that your Wi-Fi will suffer. And so if this nexdock is putting out a fair amount of RF off the screen, although LED screens it's not usually the case, or if there's something with the output. Now, okay, well, there you go. So AT&T, here's your blinding fast UVer speeds. I don't know. Anyway, so the nexdock is back, and I'll be doing some more compatibility checks, but based on this and my previous experiences, I can pretty much say it should all be good. So, good job, Next. Alright, Mike Nolan here, nexdockusers.wordpress.org. Just a quick kind of shot in between the nexdock being sent back and returning. I was able to pick up a Generation 2 Microsoft wireless display adapter. So I took a quick look at it recently with the TecLast tablet. Again, another nice aspect of the TecLast tablet is it actually works with the Microsoft wireless display adapter, unlike the ThinkPad 2 by Lenovo, which just amazes me considering how much that costs new retail versus the TecLast tablet here. So granted that ThinkPad 2 came out good 2-3 years ago, so what a difference a couple of years makes. But let's try connecting the TecLast to the Microsoft wireless display adapter. There it is, and with a little bit of luck, it's connecting to TecLast, TecLast, and looks like it's connected on the TecLast adapter, and boom, there it is. Wow. Okay, well, that is much better and much different than the first generation one by far. It is absolutely much better picture quality. It's still not optimal, I'd say, but it's usable. It kind of looks to me like it's not at full resolution. I still have yet to really find out what the resolution of the wireless adapter is, but I'll go in here and you can kind of see, the text is pixelated, and it's kind of amazing to me that it's okay, and it's a little washed out compared to the straight HDMI cable. I don't know if it's gonna let me make any changes here to the graphics properties because I think what's happening with the Microsoft wireless display adapter is that really what it's doing is it's really just acting as a mirror. So built-in display, it's not even giving me an option for well, let's see, I'll go over here, multiple displays. It doesn't really seem to know that there's another display, so it's really just mirroring, it appears, the built-in display, and I think that's, well, what's interesting though is the browser is not on the main display, but it is on the nexdock, and I launched it from the nexdock. If you notice, the toolbar is below and over here it's above, and they're obviously different displays. Let me just go to the Windows display settings and see what options I have here. Extend, okay, there's extend, and I'll click on the second display, and there's no resolution. You have to go to advanced display, and again, so there's oh, it's on that, it's on the nexdock, but it's at the recommended display. I could probably crank it up, but if memory serves correctly, I don't even know if this is a good idea, but I'm going to apply it, and oh, well, what do you know? So that's at 1920 by 1080, and it changed the resolution, but it really didn't change the quality. The text is still really pixelated, it's just smaller, so you get more desktop space, but you're not getting a whole lot more resolution per se. It's I guess this is just kind of the limitation of the wireless display adapter is that no matter what the resolution is, the image quality is only so good. So I changed it, and here we are back. Changed it back to its optimal 386 or 366 by 768, and again, it's usable, but not enjoyable. I would say. What about 1360? Need to see a change. Well, the recommended is probably the best way to go. So, as usual with these kinds of things, if it's sensing that that's the optimal display, then I would just tend to say, why not just go with it and live with it. I mean, so you could do this if you wanted to. The strange thing to me, though, is that, and I know nexdock wrote to me at one point and said, you know, use their recommended accessories, and that's all fine and well. I understand. Those are what they've tested the nexdock with, so, you know, that's what they feel comfortable with. But the reality is that we all have, you know, what we have in our, you know, repertoire of accessories and what we carry around with us, and so it'd be nice to think that, you know, we could just use whatever works, and this does work. It's just not necessarily optimal quality. So, you know, that being said, it's fine. I mean, you just kind of have to adjust your expectations for, you know, what you need, but if you can deal, you know, with a fairly decent display, and it's really just for presentations or what have you, then you probably you'll be okay. But I'd say, you know, wireless, it is what it is, and if it works for you, great. If not, nothing like a good old-fashioned cable, because it seems like the cables just tend to have a better resolution and full display and everything else. And as you can see, you know, I mean, that looks okay. My old famous flip board here, and this actually, you know, looks usable if you're kind of looking for something along the lines of this, where you're just looking at other kinds of content or PowerPoint presentation, what have you. I'd say that, wow, that is kind of slow compared to because, but again, you can see even at that, you know, it just, yeah, so anyway, I don't want to take too much time on this wireless display adapter. It would have been nice if it worked a little bit better. It's hard to say. Maybe over time they'll sort it out, but that's that for now. The Microsoft Wireless Display Adapter version 2 and the newly returned nexdock. Mike Nolan here once again, nexdockusers.wordpress.org. I thought I'd just show another cable I have. This is a little bit different. This is a full HDMI Type A to HDMI Mini, which I believe is the Type C, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought it'd be interesting to show how well this works, if it does work, with the nexdock. Sorry. Okay, so that's plugged in, and here it comes. Boom, cable. So yeah, I think you'll be able to see that the resolution is much improved. So the wireless, although it would be kind of neat, I'm just saying a good old-fashioned cable is probably the way to go. Hopefully before my battery poops out, you'll see that text quality is just superior with the cable. It looks very good. So this is not a nexdock situation. This is just wireless versus cable. And if you got a good cable, this cable is a lot thinner. I like the fact that it's direct. This is not using the nexdock adapter cable. This is a HDMI A full size to HDMI mini cable with an adapter to micro, which I'm still not liking, but so if I can just find that magic cable that works, then I'll have a pretty slick little setup. One cable, power adapter if I need it for the nexdock, my very handy solar charger and battery adapter. The nice thing about this is since it does work while the nexdock is plugged in, since it's USB and the nexdock is running off its own power, but for the TecLast, the TecLast comes with its own power adapter, but it will run off of the micro USB, much like a phone or anything else. I have to give these guys a lot of credit for making this so flexible. This adapter, this power brick here, see it turns on, good to go. The screen adapts. I can put it right here like this. That's pretty handy. And it is charging. So this is kind of an interesting configuration. If the nexdock would run off of a similar kind of power brick, and I may try that, I may try and find a power tip just to see if it'll run off of 2 amps. I'm trying to think if it says here on the nexdock power supply how many amps it is putting out or requires. Let's see, AC/DC adapter, output 5 volts at 2500 milliamps, so that is 2.5 amps, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So doing the math. So this particular power supply wouldn't be kicking out enough power to power the nexdock, but that might be the next thing. I mean, not that, you know, power is that big of an issue, but because the nexdock doesn't have any kind of power indicator, it would just be nice to have something to be able to either charge it or actually use it with a battery pack. And oh yeah, well, it's still calculating. That's interesting. What I've noticed is that with Windows 10 and tablets, if you set the power to either 0 or 25%, it'll charge while you're using it. 0 isn't very useful, but now maybe you can see till further fully charged. So it is charging. Theoretically, it doesn't say charging. Let me try turning it off, turn it back on. No. So it that indicator over here, the little plug-in, means it's plugged in, doesn't necessarily mean it's charging. So the fact that the HDMI is connected, I'm going to try turning off the nexdock, and let's see, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000. Okay, so as you can see, that is, now this is still not indicating that it's charging. I was just thinking that because it had the HDMI out, that it might not actually be charging. So the only way to charge this and use it at the same time is more than likely, let's see, yep, it's in the 2 amp connector, but it does seem to charge. Oh, it went up. It was at 76, now it's at 77. So it is theoretically possible to charge it and use it at the same time, although only at very low display brightnesses, which is fine, but in most cases it'd probably end up charging it while it was not in use to get a maximum charge out of it. I guess one more time just so you can see that the power button is working without the power adapter. It came on as expected and is working just fine. So anyway, and again, there's that image quality with the cable. Looks pretty good. Green Day, what's going on Green Day? Oh, somebody's sick. Hopefully they're all okay. Haven't seen those guys for a while. Anyway, that's it for now. Mike Nolan out. nexdockusers.wordpress.org.